Hello, everybody, and welcome to Full Range Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Most Valuable Pat, and today we're going to be talking about Raw and Smackdown for the August 6th and 7th of 2018. Sorry about last week. We didn't have a recap last week, and believe me, you didn't miss that much, so it's okay. I did the recap, but then I forgot to plug my mic in, and it turned out that our editing guy was out, so that's why we didn't do our recap for last week, so I apologize for that. But believe me, you did not miss a thing, because it was all promos and stupid matches and garbage and all that kind of stuff. And this week was actually a lot better than it was last week. The only big thing that happened last week was the Brock Lesnar thing and him turning on Paul Heyman. Raw was significantly better last week than it was in SmackDown. This week was a little more even. I'm just seeing like a lot of the same things happen over and over and over and over again, and it's really starting to bug me. I mean, I've been watching wrestling for a lot of years, 29 years I've been watching wrestling, and I don't know how else to keep on saying over the shit. It's the same shit over and over again. I don't know how much longer I can actually take seeing the same stuff over and over and over and over again, because that's all I keep on seeing. Last week they start off the show with Roman Reigns talking, and he did his little stupid promo, and now this week again it comes out with Roman Reigns talking. And Angle comes out and says a couple things, but then here comes Roman Reigns again, and he does his thing. And it doesn't make any sense. They always say the same stuff and always do the same thing. Now he's just targeting Corbin as kind of a warm-up before he fights against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, which I'm extremely disappointed that they're not making that a triple threat match or a fatal four-way or something like that, because I don't want to see the same match over and over and over again, and I'm sorry that if I keep on complaining and bitching and whining, but 100% of it's true. It's a big pain in the ass. It's very, very annoying, and you know, I'm always hoping that Reigns is going to win the match, because I want to see that title relevant again, but then it doesn't happen. It's just like, what the hell is going on, and it doesn't make any sense. And it's very, very stupid. So I don't really understand. I don't, just don't understand. This is very, very annoying. So they had a match between Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns, and after the whole thing last week with Baron Corbin just kind of leaving Kurt Angle in the dust, Roman Reigns called him out and had a match with him, and ended up beating Baron Corbin. Not a big deal. Everybody was looking forward to the match later on, and which is going to be Ronda Rousey's first match in WWE, which is the one thing I'm actually really excited to hear about, and to see. I was really excited to see that match. She's a pretty good wrestler, believe it or not. I didn't think she was going to be that good, but she's a lot better than what happens. But then the whole thing with Bobby Roode and Mojo Rawley came to a head last week. They got into a fight before that, and now they kind of came to a head. And I was hoping if Bobby Roode lost this match, that I thought that he would be officially buried, because I mean, he lost to some scrubs, since coming into WWE. He had a little run as United States Championship. His United States champion, but it wasn't really that good of a run. So, then what? They have this thing, and then they just kind of blow him off. I watched the video on YouTube. It was like the top 10 biggest things that WWE is regretting. And one of them was like burying Finn Balor, burying Bayley, and burying Bobby Roode. Everybody wants him to be a heel, but I really don't see that happening, because he's got that really, really cool song. Everybody loves the song. So, I mean, it was just kind of strange to see that happen. But After that, Elias came out and did his thing, did his guitar solo garbage that he always does. It's actually kind of entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But Lashley came out and jumped him, and then later on, Elias and Bobby Lashley fight it out. I'm sorry, I'm reading it. Bobby Lashley and Elias fight it out, and then they actually Bobby Lashley actually gets the upper hand, which is interesting. So they're gonna have a fight at SummerSlam. Obviously, that's not really. It's very, very obvious that they're actually gonna have a match at SummerSlam. Then they did another thing with Titus O'Neil versus Razor of Authors of Pain. Razor won that match. Doesn't really matter. Then they had this whole thing with Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal. Kevin Owens comes out with his Kevin Owens show with Jinder Mahal and starts kissing his ass, talking to him about, oh, I'm so relaxed and stuff like that because of the treatment that you showed me and all that kind of crap. Then Braun Strowman comes out to fight against Jinder Mahal. Kevin Owens kind of puts him under the bus and says, why don't you fight him and stuff, and it was just kind of like, it was just a kind of a dumb match. Same thing as last week. Again, Braun Strowman, Jinder Mahal fight for a little bit, and then Kevin Owens takes the briefcase, and that's pretty much how it ended. Again, last week. It's the same shit, man. I mean, I'm just constantly repeating myself, and it's really freaking annoying. Kurt Angle wants to make a match between Rollins and Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, but he has to find a partner. At this point, I was kind of thinking that Dean Ambrose was going to come back from his injury, but apparently that's not going to happen until after SummerSlam. I'll tell you a little bit more about that and the rumors rolling around. But apparently that's not going to happen until after SummerSlam, and they're probably going to team up again. Hopefully they actually make a run at the titles, because the title picture on Raw is getting kind of eh. B Team is getting more popular, but I think Matt Hardy is on an injury at the moment, which is why they dropped the titles, because they can't be working all these shows with him being hurt. So they couldn't find anybody, so it was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Decent match, not gonna lie. They all are significantly good superstars, so I really enjoyed watching it. But we had, of course, Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler win the match. Now, I mean, how are they gonna have it so Dolph Ziggler doesn't win? I don't know if the Dolph Ziggler's gonna win the Intercontinental Championship again at SummerSlam because of Drew McIntyre. I think what might happen is, it'd be really cool if Dean Ambrose came back at SummerSlam. And if the whole thing happened where, Drew McIntyre gets involved in the match, Dean Ambrose comes out and starts beating the crap out of Drew McIntyre. They form a tag team again, and then they start going after Dean Ambrose Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus Dean Ambrose and Rollins. That'd be kind of a cool little matchup to see. I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing the same old crap over and over again between Seth Rollins getting his ass beat by two people, which is kind of stupid. So, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But, you never know. If they come out, then they might actually do something. Then they had the B Team versus the Revival. So, if it was 2 or 3 months ago, I would say that if you fight against the B Team right now, that it's pretty much a squash match, and it's they're trying to bury you. But the B Team's looking pretty good, man. I'm not gonna lie. They look pretty good, and the Revival's getting kind of like a revamp. They're in the hunt for tag team championships. I think it's gonna be a triple threat tag team championship match at SummerSlam. Hopefully it is. Actually no. Well, maybe it will be, but right now it's gonna be Revival versus the B Team. So we'll see what happens. But they did have a match between those two, and it was pretty interesting. But then after that, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy come out in the middle of the match and take the place of both the tag team partners when the two when I think it was who was it? Dawson was in the ring against Bo Dallas, and then lights go out, and then Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt were on the two corners, which is freaking cool. They come in and beat the crap out of both of them, beat the crap out of both teams, and that was that. So that was a lot of fun to watch, actually. I like that a lot. That was very clever. And so then after they did that, they had an interview with Paul Heyman, and he was crying, and he was saying, I haven't talked to Brock, and he won't talk to me, and blah blah blah. Kind of just going in and selling this whole thing that Brock's an asshole and Brock's a jerk and all that kind of stuff. They think if Paul Heyman says that he's a jerk and he's an asshole, that he's gonna, people are gonna hate him and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see about that. And they had the Riot Squad versus the Boss and Hug Connection again. And I say again because, again, they keep on repeating themselves over and over and over and over and over again, which is ridiculous. And then this is when Ruby Riott comes out, and Riot Squad ends up winning because Ruby Riott returns. I think she is like I don't know, what's it called? She just makes that team better. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan are okay, but I think that Ruby Riott just kind of makes that team as good as they should be. She's a really good addition to that team. Then they had the main event of the night, and it was Alicia Fox versus Ronda Rousey. And this is the match that I was looking forward to for a while because, this is Ronda Rousey's first match on Raw and against Alicia Fox. Now, Alicia Fox is the worst freaking diva they have, or not diva, worst freaking woman superstar that they have on Raw, period. Next, maybe Natalya, but I think Natalya's a little better than Alicia Fox, but I think Alicia Fox is the worst person on Raw, period. She's way over her prime. She's way over what she's used to do back in the day. I wish she would kind of retire, and she won't for whatever reason. But that's just kind of what happens. But Natty was out there with Ronda Rousey and Alicia Fox, and Alexa Bliss was out there with Alicia Fox. And Ronda Rousey again proved that she's a great wrestler and deserves the championships. I've been hearing a lot of things around that both the championships are going to change over in the SummerSlam for the women. I heard Carmella's going to lose it, and that Alexa Bliss is going to lose it because so far both of them. I mean, I don't know what happened. What happened to Alexa Bliss? I don't. She was like this big time, awesome, great superstar, and it seems like she's falling off a little bit. And I'm really kind of sad because she was my favorite woman superstar, and I'm really kind of hoping that she can step it up and do her thing. But apparently she's not getting good matches. The producers and the people in charge are not impressed with her matches, and I'm not really either. I don't know what happened to her or why she's been slacking or whatever the last couple of well, ever since she won the championship, so ever since Money in the Bank. So I don't know what happened to her. I don't know why she's all of a sudden just not doing it anymore or not really being very, very good anymore. But I mean, I don't know, man. It's weird. So I hope that they both do change hands at SummerSlam. I want Becky Lynch to be a champion again, and I really want Ronda Rousey to be champion again because I want to see what she can do running the show pretty much on Raw for the women. So she can pretty much beat the crap on anybody, and it's really nice to see that. And when her demeanor changes, it's just so cool. And it's like she's so nice and she's so sweet, and then all of a sudden, like her demeanor changes and she becomes this nasty, this nasty woman, and she's, just this badass chick, and she's amazing, and everybody, she starts going ham and all that kind of stuff. It's really fun to see that kind of thing happen. So whenever they actually do have a SummerSlam, which I'm actually really looking forward to watching, except for the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns match. Hopefully they both change hands and they can actually have a decent run, both of them, Rousey and Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch hasn't had a championship opportunity in years. So I'm kind of hoping that she's going to come out and she's going to actually have a nice reign. But we'll see. We shall see. And then there is SmackDown. So I'll talk a little bit about SmackDown. SmackDown actually wasn't very good today. That's 2 weeks in a row that it wasn't very good. And it started off again with the same shit again with Randy Orton calling out Jeff Hardy and talking all this crap about Jeff Hardy. Blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Then after that, they had the Iconics, which are the most annoying duo of people I've ever met in my life next to Carmella. And they fought against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Great match. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair really make it worthwhile to see those matches. And I love the matches, and they're fun. So, of course, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch win the match, but in a good way. And it was drawn out and very, very well done. They start talking about, after that, they start talking about AJ Styles and what Samoa Joe said about AJ Styles last week. And AJ Styles made his little promo. I'm looking forward to that match because that's like an old school TNA match right there. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. I mean, they were both heels in TNA when I watched it anyway, but when they had matches, man, they were a lot of fun to watch. But then after that, they had Lana versus Zelina Vega, and I thought that Lana wasn't actually fighting anymore. I thought that she was done, but apparently she's not, and she's did a really good job in this match. I was watching kind of careful because I wanted to see if she'd kind of fuck up, but she didn't, and I was surprised to see that. She's a really good wrestler. If she practices a little bit more, I think she could be, pretty damn good. I'm actually really excited to see that. But I like to see a mixed tag team match between Lana and Rusev versus Zelina Vega and Andrade Almas. But we'll see about that. Aiden English comes out again and interrupts the match, costs Lana the match, and that was pretty much it for the match on that end. But overall, believe it or not, Lana had a pretty good match, so I was pretty excited to see that, and that was a lot of fun to see. Then they had Shinsuke versus R-Truth. Who cares? Of course, who wins that match. Bludgeon Brothers versus 3SK. Who cares? That was like a 2-minute long match. Then they had what I would consider the match of the night, but not the result that I wanted to see. They had New Day versus The Bar, and it was for a shot at the Bludgeon Brothers at SummerSlam for the Tag Team Championships. That match was excellent, but the result was terrible. So instead of having a brand new tag team, not a brand new tag team, but a tag team that the Bludgeon Brothers have never fought before in The Bar, they decide to time travel back 6 months ago, or however long it was ago, that New Day fought against Bludgeon Brothers and got their asses completely spanked. And they decided to do that again at SummerSlam. I don't really understand the point of that. I mean, I know The Bar are heels, and I know that the Bludgeon Brothers are heels. But don't you think it'd be kind of cool to see New Day or Bludgeon Brothers versus The Bar instead of having it be a match that happened 6 months ago? It doesn't make any sense. It's very stupid. The match was superb, but that match, again, is not something that I want to see over and over and over and over again. I'm very tired of seeing the same old shit over and over and over again. I don't want to see it no more. So, that was it for SmackDown. And we're a week and a half away from SummerSlam. I'm actually really looking forward to it, except for the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar match. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing those matches, all the matches that are going to go on. I'm especially looking forward to the women's matches. I'm looking forward to see Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss, and I'm looking forward to seeing, hopefully, Carmella lose her title. But we'll see about that. You never know. Now I'm going to move on here to the rumors of the day. You can find these again at CageSideSeats.com in the rumor roundup section. You can see them. They come out with them every day. And they're really cool to see, and they're a lot of fun to watch if you want to keep in touch with what's going on with wrestling and all over the place. But I'll read what happened the last couple of weeks, or the last few days. There's an open dialogue between The Rock and WWE about making appearances in the future. Brock Lesnar is expected to make a final 3 appearances for WWE or on the Raw before and after SummerSlam and SummerSlam itself. And there's some speculation going around that Nia Jax is actually dealing with a knee injury, or not a knee injury, an injury of some sort. And Mauro Ranallo is expected to announce the Maryland Classic, which I think I'm actually gonna watch because I like Kairi Sane. She was on it last year, so you never know. An NWO reunion of Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash might be something we see on the network, or one or a one-off sometime soon, tweeted Ticket Drew. Multiple sources, including Dave Meltzer, are saying Matt Riddle has signed a 3-year deal with WWE. On a recent Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez commented on plans for Dean Ambrose and Jason Jordan when they return from injury. Last I heard, it was going to be Jordan and Gable again, and Rollins and Ambrose as teams. PW Insider speculated Elias will face Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. It's fantastic. And based in part on your Instagram story about rehabbing, 411 Mania mentions Nia Jax may be dealing with leg injury. That sucks. There's also a lot of doubt that either Undertaker or John Cena will be working the card at SummerSlam. They probably would have done it already if they would have done it already. They probably would have done it already. So I'm guessing they're probably not going to do it. The latest Wrestling Observer newsletter says all indications are Brock Lesnar wants to continue signing short-term deals because UFC and WWE are both coming into large sums of money. It best serves him to be a free agent as often as possible. Dean Ambrose is expected back shortly after SummerSlam. Per the Observer, Aleister Black is injured and had surgery, so he'll be out for at least some time, though it's unclear how long. That site also said that WWE has said that UK wrestlers cannot take any bookings up to a week prior to a WWE UK event. Daniel Bryan still hasn't signed a new deal with WWE per the Observer, but they started giving him more house shows off, so he has a lighter schedule. The Raw Tag Team title match at SummerSlam is expected to feature multiple teams. The Revival are expected to be in the mix. That's fine with me. According to the Observer, most of the Mae Young Classic wrestlers are in Orlando and are there to practice their matches over the weekend. And per Wrestling DVD Network, WWE will release a best of 24 DVD later this year. That's good. Don't be surprised if Ronda Rousey versus Alicia Fox is the main event, which it was. Paul Heyman was at the WWE Performance Center recently teaching promo classes. Matt Hardy has raised speculation on his future in pro wrestling with recent tweets. The Observer notes that they weren't retirement tweets, but he is injured and in pain. So that's probably why they dropped titles. PW Insider says WWE has looked into sites at both New York and New Jersey for access this year. And those are the rumors for the last couple days. That's going to do it for our wrestling recap this week, August 6th and 7th of 2018. Please let me know down in the comments section what kind of matches you're looking forward to seeing the most at SummerSlam, and which matches are you looking forward to see the least at SummerSlam. You all know mine, the one I'm not actually going to watch. So we will see you guys next week on our recap. Thanks for coming out and watching. Have a great day, and we will see you guys in the next one.